Stephen A., I'll start with you. How much influence will Kobe have on Dwight's decision?
I imagine there's the potential for him to have some influence, but I think the actions of the Lakers front office is going to play a far more significant role than Kobe Bryant himself. Kobe Bryant can talk to Dwight Howard about L.A., the allure that it has, and all the opportunities that could potentially present itself. But at the same time, Kobe's a different beast than Dwight Howard. He's very resolute in his thinking. He makes up his mind. He doesn't waver. It's not a struggle for him to come to a conclusion. It's not that it's a bad thing overall as a character person for Dwight Howard, because you know how I think he's a really nice guy. But at the same time, he's a guy that struggles to make finite decisions from time to time because he has to be clear about who he's dealing with. And you have the Lakers situation right now. One day you're hearing that Jim Buss is going to be running the organization for years to come. Another thing you're hearing that there's a power struggle that it may belong to Jeanie Buss. If Jeanie Buss comes in there, Phil Jackson or his choice would be the next head coach. Whereas if he's not in there, it will remain to be D'Antoni, who Dwight Howard has an issue with in terms of how he runs the team. And so all of those things play a factor. But ultimately, Skip, to answer the question directly, I think Kobe Bryant's approach is a mistake. And the reason why I think it's a mistake is because you don't want to wait with Dwight Howard. You want to make your case. You might want to make it at the beginning and at the end. But at the same time, you don't want to leave Dwight Howard out there just to draw his own conclusions, let him talk to everybody and look forward to the process, which, by the way, he is, because Dwight Howard is looking forward to the whole free agent process. He wants to be wooed. He wants to talk to several teams. He wants to make a very enlightened and educated decision. So he wants all of that. If you want all of that and then you think you're going to come in at the end and convince him, well, that's a risky proposition, because if you're Kobe Bryant, even in the case that you do ultimately convince him, let's say, for example, he's determined to go in another direction, and then you change his mind. Well, if you change his mind, did he really want to be there, or were you just a convincing salesperson? That's the thing. That's the kind of situation Kobe's putting himself in, and I don't agree with his position.
For me, and I appreciate everything you just said, Stephen A., I have no idea how much impact Kobe could have on Dwight. My big picture takeaway is I listen to you talk, and you take it seriously, and you do your homework, and I step back and I think, man, it's good to be Dwight Howard. Because another offseason, Stephen A., and we're about to go through another daily Dwight-mare of, oh, where will he go next? This breathless deliberation. Will he or won't he? Will he stay in L.A.? Will he go to Houston? Will he go back to Atlanta? Go to Orlando? Where will he go? It's Dwight Howard. What has he done to earn this? I don't know. Because even Dwight himself admitted the other day, my one problem is between my ears. We all agree he lacks intangibles. Now, we just hear from the greatest active player, Kobe Bryant, basically trying to formulate a plan to grovel to Dwight. I know I'm being harsh with Kobe, but it feels to me like poor Kobe Bryant is reduced to groveling to try to beg Dwight Howard, should I do it first or should I wait until the end, to stay in L.A.? Really, it has come to this for Kobe Bryant? I don't think Dwight belongs in L.A. A lot of people, I think, agree with me. I know we ran into a lot of people in Houston when we did our show there. Where was it?
It was at the Hard Rock.
Hard Rock, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
House of Blues.
House of Blues, sorry. Yeah, House of Blues. How are you, Houston? We got boos for Dwight Howard. They don't want him there, Stephen A. And yet now we got Kobe Bryant saying, well, I'll try. I'll try to bring it home at the end. And I get it, because he's sort of reduced to, he needs Dwight Howard. I can make a strong case to Kobe Bryant that he really doesn't in the long run. There's some way to fix this team without Dwight Howard. I think it'll be a mistake for Dwight to stay there and a mistake for the Lakers to keep him.
Let's be careful about using the word grovel when it's associated with Kobe Bryant. The only person in all the years, let me say this to you. The only person in all the years I've ever known Kobe Bryant to grovel to is Vanessa Bryant. That's about it. Nobody else gets that kind of treatment from Kobe Bryant. Nobody else. So for me, I don't look at it that way. But I will say this: Kobe Bryant is thinking about the last couple of years of his career, because he's probably going to sign an extension for an additional year.
Yep.
And it'll probably be 2 years instead of 1 more year. But we'll see what happens with that. In the end, what it comes down to is this: Dwight Howard's going to have to make up his mind, and you want him to be clear about where he wants to be. You know, whenever I speak to him, he says, I have a right to be sure, and I just want to be sure. Now, it's not the ideal situation for anybody to be in, but he has earned that right as a free agent. Let him do what he has to do. I'm just saying, if you want him, I don't think it's wise to wait until the last minute to come into the mix. You need to come in a bit earlier than that if you're Kobe Bryant and you really, really want him. And I'm not saying to grovel to do it. You just need to hear your voice. You have your voice be heard earlier.
Okay. Last quick question, just to Stephen A. Smith. Are you getting sick and tired of where will Dwight go next?
Oh, absolutely. And I've told him that. I thought he should have made up his mind. But you know what? I am getting sick and tired of it, but for a different reason than everybody else. I'm getting sick and tired of it because I know where he wants to be. Dwight Howard wanted to be in Brooklyn. He blew it by opting in to stay in Orlando because he was guilted into doing so. If Brooklyn was available, none of this would be an issue, including L.A. Dwight Howard wants to be a member of the Brooklyn Nets, and he can't have that, and that's why every other decision is hard.
Last question or actual statement for you, Skip. I want you to make the case as to why it would be better for the Lakers not to have Dwight Howard.
Because he doesn't have the intangibles to be the face of the Laker franchise.
Well, how are they?
He's admitted that.
Okay, so you're saying moving forward, the Lakers are better without him in general as a team.
Go in another direction. You can find a better
I disagree.
Dwight Howard.
I disagree. I don't believe he should be the face of the franchise, but I believe his skill sets and what he brings to the table is important for any team in the NBA to have. Just because you're not the face, meaning the face, the franchise face, doesn't mean that you're not an important cog to a potential championship wheel. And I think that Skip diminishes him more than he should, because I think he's a bigger talent. I think he's a big-time talent. He just has some issues.